Okay, in this part, let's talk about what you need to do in order to avoid wake turbulence from another airplane that is approaching you head on. Okay, as in the other video, this is the ground, and now I put some lovely pictures of animals and houses and stuff. Yes, they're awful. Okay, that's the ground, and here is the air above the ground, maybe at 10,000 feet. The plastic represents the air. The air may be stationary or it may be moving. The act of that air moving, that mass of air moving across the ground, is what we call wind, okay? So let's take that case now. I'm going to put this down. Here's our airplane, and here's the 747. Okay, you're flying along directly toward each other. Now, right now, I'm not having any wind, right? This air mass is not moving relative to the ground. So here's the 747. It comes right over your head, and it leaves a really nasty wake right behind it, just like that. Okay? Well, you want to avoid that wake. So you can do one of two things. You can turn this way and avoid the wake, or you can turn this way and avoid the wake. I don't think we have any controversy about that whatsoever, right? Okay, so now let's take that air mass, and maybe I'll just leave it down here, it's just easier to work with. Let's take that air mass, and now we're going to move that air mass across the ground, something we would call wind, okay? Same scenario. Here we go, there's the air mass moving across the ground, wind. Here comes the 747 right over your head. There's its wake, and you're going to either turn this way or you're going to turn this way. In other words, you don't have to do anything different in that air mass to avoid that wake, no matter what direction the air mass itself is moving. So if the air mass is moving this way and then that 747 just flew right over your head, you could turn this way or you could turn this way. It doesn't make any difference. Either way will get you away from that wake, and by the same amount. The air mass could be moving this way, it could be moving this way. It doesn't make any difference. You, the wake, and the air itself are all one unit moving perhaps across the ground. Okay, the thing that I think you are thinking is that there is something doing this. There is nothing doing that. There is no force pushing across the wind itself. The wind is actually the air mass moving across the ground. There's nothing in addition pushing this thing at some angle. It's simply you and the wake, which are fixed like raisins in a cake. The cake may be moving across the ground in some direction, doesn't make any difference. You can turn this way, you can turn that way. It makes no difference whatsoever in your act necessary to avoid the wake.